Hello all, welcome to the channel. I hope you all are fine. This channel will only have trivial opinions on the topics that we see in the current world. Today, we will try to understand what happened at Afghanistan. Last month, besides COVID, one news which certainly gripped world is US withdrawal from Afghanistan and rise of Taliban. I would say sudden rise of Taliban. So in this video, we will try to analyze the possible reasons for that and what does the future hold for Afghanistan and obviously us, that is world. First of all, the main points where one is bound to think is the way Taliban swept and found no resistance. It was very shocking and surprising. Does that mean the army which was made combat ready by superpowers of world bent its knee to Taliban, or does that mean there was some sort of understanding already developed between the Afghan National Army, Taliban and NATO and US? There is one thing which continuously strikes to our mind is how can a trained army simply blow or fled and offer no resistance? Another very surprising point to us is the way how Mr. Ghani simply fled and he even didn't plead help to other countries. We saw his no address to nation, we saw his no address to the world. It all looked like scripted till the mess at airport unfolded. Considering the situation at Kabul airport also, you have to understand that the population of Afghanistan as per Google is around 3 to 4 crore. And also as per Google now 1.25 lakh people were evacuated from Afghanistan. Let us put this figure at 2 to 3 lakhs also. Now you can yourself calculate the percentage of population which was willing to leave Afghanistan. Also you have to note this fact that most of these people who left Afghanistan were the people of other nationalities. Okay. So then why is the local personnel of Afghanistan not worried about Taliban coming to their country? If that would have been the case, there would have been large stage protests. Are they in state of shock, in state of fear? What is the actual reason? Besides this, the other thinkable points are why at first place US had to sign such a deal. Also, when we read articles like Afghanistan is the Middle East of lithium, and just if the story is true, then what was the more compelling reason for US to leave? So we could find 2-3 reasons for this predetermined situation and for the reason Trump might have signed this deal. First is, as explained, locals were fed up of the existing rule and they are sort of happy that Taliban is back, which is it looks very difficult to digest, but maybe this is true. Others are the continuous spending by US which they wanted to restrict besides casualties. Besides it, they wanted to leave from this war of perception where one group is fighting and developing continuous enmity towards US with no end in sight. So because when they are fighting against US, then definitely they are developing some sort of enmity against US which they wanted to end. Some years back, same thing had happened when Israel withdrew from Lebanon. And what happened ultimately at that time, people thought that Hezbollah will become more strong, but ultimately they lost focus and now they started infighting. So earlier they considered Israel as their top enemy, but then you can say the goalpost of Hezbollah changed. So maybe Israel has some sort of advice to US on this front also. Maybe this is also done so that the country remains engaged in civil war and US is not directly involved and is safely watching it and supporting it from outside. Also, one more reason why this might have happened is the focus to stop ISIS and Taliban. We read and we learn from some articles and some news editions that Taliban is fighting ISIS as they have some ideological difference, and world doesn't want ISIS to grow. Maybe ISIS somehow is not totally tamed by some powers of the world, and they see Taliban as someone who can fight ISIS. So maybe to make Taliban more powerful, they wanted to give them Afghanistan. So these are all opinion and theories which we don't have any evidence backing us. Now some people are worried that with the coming of Taliban and with Pakistan in the picture, China will influence Afghanistan in coming years, and this should be a concern. The point is that maybe US wants China to influence and dig lithium there, because in this process it will also have to encounter the problems which US and allies have faced over the years, and China also gets trapped which US and allies have been, and they have spent money, they have spent resources, and China has been happily watching them, and yet it has continuously increased its growth while US has been engaged in these wars. So in all this, what can be the role of India? Or we can say that India has no role, and we are just offered what is happening. But it is very difficult to digest that, considering the kind of investment which India has done in Afghanistan. Role of India is prominent. India already has a line of communication with Taliban, and there is also a story that Ghani chose UAE instead of Pakistan to flee on insistence of India. Also, at the time when people were getting evacuated, there was a news that India had developed line of communication with Taliban, and who had helped some diplomats of India to reach to airport. Also, it is totally difficult to rule India out of the decision of US to withdraw from Afghanistan. So we can say that India also knew it all along, and India already has a backroom understanding with Taliban. So India should not be perturbed at growing proximity of, Pakistan in Afghanistan. So the other final question which comes is, so what is the future? So what is the future of Afghanistan? What future? I think nobody can truly say what the future actually holds in Afghanistan. It is mostly difficult to say, but most likely it looks nothing with respect to an international front will change. Life within Afghanistan will be more challenging, less democratic, but not like what Taliban used to be earlier. In the last 20 years, world has changed a lot, and so have thoughts. So we will see an engaging front from Taliban. We will see more difficult times for Pakistan, because China will now have a divided attention. Earlier, Pakistan was the only the Islamic country which was only most allied to China is Pakistan, and India is also one of the reasons for that. But now with Afghanistan also in picture, and China will surely make some investment and will also expect something out of it. And if it is not happening in time, then it will definitely blame Pakistan. Like there has been some friction on the CPEC corridor also with between China and Pakistan. So it is not going to be goody for Pakistan in the I guess so in this scenario. In the end, we feel that yes, Afghanistan will see some problems, but it is Pakistan which will be in the major issue, because already there are two forces within Afghanistan, one which supports Pakistan and another which have some problems there. So terrorist attacks might increase in Pakistan, and there is also a serious prophecy that in the coming months, because of this misadventure of Pakistan, they may eventually lose Pak. This is all regarding this topic, and I thank you for watching, and would like to reiterate in the end that these are all opinions based upon the articles and news editions, and there is no evidence.